It's a good word for right now. Everything in moderation and balance. I wanted to pop in and talk about weight loss during COVID-19, a pandemic we've never experienced before. I've had quite a few responses to my last video, so I wanted to follow up. And also why losing weight doesn't always have to be about deprivation and denial to oneself. In fact, it should not be at all. When we want to attain successful, sustainable weight loss, what I know to be true is that it is far more attainable when you focus on the quality of food rather than the quantity of food. I mentioned this in my video just before this, so if you haven't watched that particular video, it's in reference to this next sequel piece here, which is part 2. So when we focus on quality of food rather than quantity and eat wholesome, nutritious, and even calorie-filled foods, you'll be far more satisfied and content on less. So fat is a great example of this, with satiety coming in at 9 calories per gram per your 4 calories per gram with carbohydrates and proteins. Protein is also a great satiety food as well, gravitating towards some of those to create that fullness factor. So using mindfulness around this will benefit you as well, especially in times of high stress and anxiety. It's common for many people to turn to food as a source of comfort. With the collective stress of the pandemic in conjunction with the social distancing on top of that, and then all the further recommendations, how to clean your groceries, what to do, many people feel more isolated and lonely, which can at times lead to anxiety or even more anxiety than they are feeling on the daily, and depression for some. The truth be told is when we are super stressed, I don't know about you, but I reach for a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's not like a cucumber or a celery. I want the entire jar of peanut butter. So some of you have seen my love for peanut butter. Some of you have. But what's important here is it's important to remember that stress makes us want to eat high fat or high satiety foods. So there is a reasoning for this, and it's because when you feel stressed and anxious, your body produces hormones, which actually makes it more likely for you to want to reach for all of the unhealthy foods. It's the hormones and stress hormones, as I like to say, such as cortisol. So what cortisol does is cortisol stimulates an insulin release, which oftentimes can lead to inflammation and weight gain. So what happens unconsciously when we unconsciously fire this hormone? Well, what happens is this activates the fight or flight response. And then what happens is you start to release energy to help your body to get ready to go into combat for a threat. But here's the thing, you aren't really going into combat. But your body doesn't know the difference. It truly doesn't. The threat here, it's all mental. So what happens is then it backfires and then causes food cravings. Over the next few weeks, I invite you to notice if you have experienced more of this while being in quarantine during COVID-19. And if you are experiencing more stress or anxiety, I want you to try the tips within this video. Give them a shot. The first one that I want you to entertain is bring structure back to your life. Get into a routine despite the disruption, and use this time to bring maybe some new healthy recipes, which can be found on my blog, angiebloom.com, or just use plain old Google. That search is fine too. Connect with a favorite app online. Maybe your favorite gym or instructors are doing workouts for you. Gravitate to it. The second one is exercise, or get movement in daily, even if it's a walk. It doesn't matter what it is, especially since we spoke about maintaining where we are right now during quarantine per my last video. But movement for your body is good. So I mentioned a walk. Walking is amazing to help decrease your cortisol. What happens is your endorphins will be released while you're exercising, which are all those feel-good hormones. This will help you stay on track, and you can even sign up on my website for weekly or bi-weekly tips and workout videos as well to keep yourself moving in that direction. Make sure that you are getting quality sleep, so prioritize your sleep. Set up a good wind down routine at the end of the day so that your body knows it's time to go to bed. It's time to head into sleep. Blue light glasses help this as well with the blue light or looking at screens. The fourth one is connect with your friends. You can do this by simply FaceTiming them or your loved ones. Trust me when I say this, this does help a lot. Connecting to others or talking to others is a must right now, especially in this pandemic that we're in. Number 5 is be kind to yourself. If you mess up with your diet, forgive yourself and just move on. Food is a way to nurture your mind, your body, and your soul. Try to focus on that and be real with yourself. If you mess up, get back on track, move on. Try to find balance without throwing in the towel completely, to instead, when we're trying to be perfect all the time, what it does is it just sets you up to want to give up trying every single day, and it's exhausting because no one is perfect. And number 6 is maybe right now is a great time to try meditation. Give it a try. Insight Timer is one of my favorites. Which in my next newsletter, I'm going to be posting some of my favorite meditations that I listen to that really resonate with me. The other piece, you can draw a hot bath and use that as your meditation. Figuring out ways to soothe yourself that does not involve calories. Another great thing, listen to a podcast, do a puzzle with your kids or your husband or even with yourself. And this unwinding helps and prevents stress eating. The final one is, this really truly works, is to just try to keep your kryptonite foods out of the kitchen no matter what. If you are having a hard time with food in general right now, with less activity, keep most of your triggering foods to a minimum. I hope that some of these tips have helped you in some way. Stay safe, find peace, give your loved ones extra hugs, and be healthy. Until next time.